Alright guys, I want to do a quick video to show off my custom Chromeskull figure and a few laid to rest props in the background. I have Chromeskull's knife over on the right, and on the left I have Preston's mask. This mask is seen hanging on his office in the second movie, and this is the mask he wears when he kills Tommy's roommate in that one scene. There's not a whole lot to this figure. When I made this figure, I purposely looked for a figure already wearing a suit to save a lot of work for me, a lot of sculpting work, since half of it would already be done. I know that's the lazy route to take, and that's because I am lazy. The legs, the sleeves, and the jacket are already done for me. All I had to do was sculpt on the shirt underneath, which really all I had to sculpt was the middle of it. The rest of the shirt was fine. I just had to take off the collar and the buttons, and then I sculpted the head. I sculpted the camera. And then I just painted on a blue screen on the back. To make the camera, I just took a tiny little block of wood and then sculpted around that. And then the knives were an absolute bitch to make. I did the best I could. The blades and the serrations are made out of plastic, and the guard is made out of plastic, and the handle and the pommel is sculpted on. They're definitely not perfect, but they look decent. The handles are probably the worst part of it. I didn't spend too much time getting the handles just right, since they're going to be covered up for the most part. And I gave him guards instead of the brass knuckles on the real knife. I did that to make things easier for making the figure. If I did the brass knuckle guard, I would have to make the hands be able to fit through the finger holes, and that just would have been a lot of work to do at this scale. So I just went with a guard that would go over it. Someday I might make new knives and redo the hands so that way they look more accurate, but for right now these are fine. The head sculpt isn't perfect, but it's the best that I could do at such a small scale. The part that bugs me the most is the teeth. The bottom row of teeth are a lot bigger than they should be, and the teeth are uneven. But the rest of the sculpt, I'm pretty satisfied with the way that turned out. I think it looks pretty good. And the chrome paint that I used on this guy, as well as the mask in the background, is, I believe it's Rust-Oleum metallic finish. Out of all the metallic spray paint I've used, this is giving me the best results, and I really love the way it looks. It's not as reflective as chrome is, but it's probably the best thing you're going to get out of a spray can, honestly. It looks really good. I did lightly weather the mask a little bit. Speaking of Chromeskull's mask, I am currently working on making replicas of his mask. I was hoping I could at least have a blank casted and in the background of this video, but I'm having issues with the mold drying. The silicone part is already dried and cured. It's just a plaster outer shell that I've made. It's still soft in some places. I might have to strip the plaster off and do a fiberglass shell on the outside, but I'll be doing a separate video on that when it's done. For accessories for this guy, he's got his knives, which you can take out of his hands. But I'm going to leave them in for right now. But I also made the machete that you see very briefly in the second movie. He kills one of the cops in his, I guess you could say, cage full of weapons. The machete in the movie is basically just a larger version of the knife. It has the same handle. I made it bigger for this guy. And it has the same type of blade. I didn't bother doing the serrations on the side like the real knife. You know, the real knife got a 3-way serrations. Son of a bitch. I need to clean the blade up on this knife. It got some plaster on it by accident when I was making the mold for the mask. Yeah, I didn't bother doing the side serrations, and I'm pretty sure they got this machete custom made for the movie, because I tried looking up the real one and I couldn't find any, so I think they just made one for the movie. If you're looking for the real Chromeskull knife, they're currently discontinued. I have no idea if the manufacturer is going to bring them back or not. but they are discontinued. But there is one website that still has them in stock. I can't remember the name of the website, but they sell like brass knuckle stuff. The name of the knife is the Shark Knife, but for some reason on this website they've called it the Fist of Zeus. So if you want to get one of the real Chromeskull knives, not a replica, that's what you'll need to type in to find it. I have no idea if the website's reliable or not, so if you order something and don't get it, it's not my fault, but that's currently the only place still selling this knife if you want to get one. I may or may not make a mold of that and do silicone replica, not silicone, resin replicas of that. We shall just see. That'd be something cool to go along with the mask. It's not a whole lot to talk about this guy. I didn't do a whole lot of accessories for this guy because he's going to be displayed on my top shelf, so you wouldn't see most of them anyways. I just made the machete just because I thought it was cool. I wish I could buy a real one of these, but I don't think they make it because I can't find anything. Maybe someday I can get a custom one made. We'll see about that. Maybe someday I'll make more accessories for this guy if he's displayed on a lower shelf. I think having a coffin with this guy would be really cool. Anyways, guys, that's about it for this video. Nothing really else to talk about. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this inspires you to make custom figures for yourself. See you guys in the next video. Alright guys, I want to do a quick video to show off my custom Chromeskull figure. And I've got a few later to rest. God damn it!